Dames en heren, welkom in het Koninklijk Concertgebouw. Wij verzoeken u vriendelijk om uw telefoon op stil te zetten en onnodige geluiden zoveel mogelijk te beperken. Wij wensen u een prachtig concert. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Royal Concertgebouw. We kindly request you to switch your cell phone to silent mode and to limit unnecessary noise. Enjoy the concert.
We gaan toch eerst Mozart doen? Ze hebben Beethoven op de dinges, hè? Eerst Mozart. Eerst Mozart. En we gaan eerst Mozart doen. Mozart eerst. Ja. Goedemorgen. Van harte welkom bij deze finale dag, de Masterclasses met het Concertgebouworkest en Daniele Gatti. Good morning and warm welcome to all of you following us on the live stream through Facebook. Welcome at the Concertgebouw for this finale day, which will be a swinging finale with Beethoven's 7th Symphony, nicknamed, and rightfully so, the epitome of the dance by Richard Wagner. Well, before we welcome the four young conductors down the steps and Daniele Gatti, I would like to thank the Royal Concertgebouw Orchestra first. Dank voor uw energie, dank voor uw inzet, uw passie en de liefde waarmee jullie deze week de jonge dirigenten hebt omarmd. Het Koninklijk Concertgebouworkest. Okay, slight change of plans. First Mozart, Don Giovanni, the dark-toned overture to the opera, and then the three conductors, Nuno, Roderick, and Tianyi, will conduct Beethoven. In a moment, Tianyi will do so, but first of all, Ruth with Don Giovanni's overture. Please welcome them warmly and their coach and mentor, Daniele Gatti. Leuk dat je in het orkest zit. Ja. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning. Let's please start with Mozart. Thank you very much. Let's please go back to the introduction. I know it's unusually fast, but what I would love to get is that it's more the angst behind it, the instability that we bring out, rather than so much the il contore.
Ruth, one thing. This morning, I would like another attitude by myself.
Okay.
I want to learn how is conducting and to rehearse, because I don't know.
Okay.
So can you tell me with this what means make a rehearsal? Because I listen, and now I'm really curious. How is the job of the conductor?
Okay. I would love to.
Because this perception is different. Yesterday and 2 days ago, you did something to convince me.
Okay.
that the word was good. Now I would like to learn something.
Okay.
And if you have some hint or the way to work, you have 25 minutes now.
Okay.
Okay, do it.
Okay. Let's please still start from the beginning, please. Can we please go to bar 5? I would still like to have it more angst, more heartbeat. Maybe actually if we take it a little softer in the 8th, yeah, let's just try it. 5. Thank you. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it's something about the 8th note. Yum, bum, bum. Maybe actually if we had the 8th note shorter. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it has to be more heartbeat, anxiety. Can we please go from the top? Let's really stick out the last note raw, please. I'll be clearer in the end. Second violins in bar 13. I think can actually come out more as well. Will help us line up the 2 bars later, the next downbeat. Can we have the sforzati 2 in 15? More sudden, more again like bam, like immediately go back more. Again, the same idea. Sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Later on in bar 22. Mm-hmm. Is this the color you want?
Yes, I like it. Thank you. Thank you. Can you please take it from bar 9? Bar 9. I think you have penciled in swells or something. Let's please not do them. I have trouble hearing the melody. Can we start from 23 one more time? 23, 2-3. Oh, I was talking to the second violins and violas. And we still have slightly different ideas about how to play the melody, and I think it should be a little hesitant before the piano. A little after the crescendo, just a little hesitant. The crescendo not quite into it. Yes, a little later in the, yeah. 23. Something good or bad?
No, I stop now because
Yes.
I don't want to interfere with that. But you start, you start at 9:30.
Mm-hmm.
It's 10 to 12. You know what have you done? You read all the overture from the beginning to the end.
Mm-hmm.
You over-conducted during the reading. You conducted a lot. Yes, you conducted. You really conducted, and very well. For me, which I'm here to understand, and considering the piece, which I know, for me was a bit too much at the beginning. But okay, because you show during the first reading, energy, tempo, often energy. Energy. no one piano. Fortissimo at the end, at the beginning, uncontrolled. It's just enthusiasm to play the fortissimo. Then, at the first reading, Ruth, ti da di, they play ti, ta-tam, 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 etc., etc., etc. 10 minutes to 10, they still play at the same way they play at the beginning. And when you went to work with them, you ask a very little things that absolutely didn't change the character of the accompaniment.
Mm-hmm.
Then you said this, and then you read again the introduction. So you lost again almost 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
Then you return to say another thing to the second violin. And then you read again.
Mm-hmm.
And then you return to say another thing. The last, probably you stop 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
But you talk, think like the Ponticello, the Concertmeister said it, the Ponticello. It's fine, fine. Can we hear the Ponticello? Why the Ponticello? To have a sound tighter?
Yes.
Every orchestra is playing in the normal days. Eventually, the difference is to say, I want a rounder sound, and we play on the fingerboard. It's quite strange, a Ponticello.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anyway. But it was not the sound of the Ponticello. This is the problem. And then, when Vincent said, crescendo and diminuendo, no? In the bar, no? Where is this? No? Yeah. Where starts that? You said, yeah, from this. Then you read again, and then Allegro.
Mm-hmm.
To me, to be honest, I didn't hear any substantial difference from the first reading to after 20 minutes. The only thing that I heard was the sforzato much sharper.
Mm-hmm.
That you were able to obtain.
Mm-hmm.
This sforzato. But the piano was similar. The chorus was the same. The first 2 bars, which is bombastic sound that the orchestra is producing, was not care at all. The line of the first violin, da, 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 they propose a senza vibrato.
Mm-hmm.
But there is also a quality of the senza vibrato. And for my ear, it was just okay.
Mm-hmm.
For you, maybe it was very good, but you do not have an idea how good could be a senza vibrato. And then when you are using a senza vibrato is in the context of a style. So why to use a senza vibrato like a sort of parfum of Baroque, and then to have the sound of the beginning so romantic, and then is so romantic with the tempo that doesn't permit also to play the scale and to have the comprehension of the crescendo. It becomes quasi an effect and not an expression. There is no tempo to do this. And all the 4 or 5 times that you repeat, Ruth,
Mm-hmm.
you conducted like the first. So I had the impression that you didn't control what did you ask.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to learn something more. And in the Allegro, try to have a method, because the first thing is that the orchestra, since you stop, didn't understand for me what was the goal of the rehearsal.
Mm-hmm.
But you just said, this, I said this because I want to feel that, okay. But you didn't test it. Tim, tam, 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 tam. Let's play just the strings and analyze 1 or 2 bars. Tim, tam, tam, tam. No, stop. A little more emphasis or less emphasis. Let's try with another bowing. And when you find the choral, which is really different from the beginning, this is something that helps you, and especially the player. For the tema, ti, do, da, you didn't say 1 word.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hope that you are able also to catch something that is very evident. Otherwise, the orchestra is repeating band, to my opinion, We start at that level, and after 20 minutes, you get that level. No more. No more. Now, let's do the Allegro. Take 10, 12 minutes, and try to have in mind, we start at this level, and I would like to arrive at a much higher level, because the quality of the player is permitted to do. Okay?
Yes. Okay, sure.
Thanks.
Allegro, please. Molto allegro. Thank you. Can we just have the woodwinds and brass in 38, please? 38. It's good, but can we have the, generally, I want this molto allegro very youthful, very kind of impetuous, very, almost an arrogant youthfulness, I think it is. So can we have the quarter notes a little shorter, yum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dim, ba-da-dim, kind of with the head against the wall. Thank you, thank you. Let's always keep it for the whole allegro, like this character. Let's go from the molto allegro. We are always in the first and second violins a little late compared to yagadagadaga, yadi yadi da da yagadagadi. And I think it's not quite so much of an accent on a yadi da, badi yada yada, just a little bit. Let's still have the dia da da dia da da dia da da dia da da ding.
Of course. No, because we talk about football.
Of course.
I'm sorry for Germany.
I give you that one. Okay. Sorry. It just moves a little late after a long note. Let's just anticipate more. Let's make a real difference to this sforzato that comes later, like bom, bim. Let's have them a little softer. While we stopped, can we please take it from 46? When we get to 66 later, first, second violins, let's really grab the first high A already immediately. Different character. Thank you. You see? But honestly, right now I feel that I'm just micromanaging a little bit. You know, now I feel like I'm micromanaging maybe a little too much, or I don't want to understand like a school orchestra, you know?
You have still 7 minutes.
Okay.
Don't waste time to talk to me.
Okay. 46. 46. Sorry. Let's not have it hard again at all. Just elegant. Elegant forte long note with a diminuendo. Same place, please. Unfortunately, I lose the oboe a little bit at the end, around 95 or so. Let's really, with the long notes, be very careful. Can we take it from the Swazzandi? That's 75, 77. Again, I would love them to be a little quicker, a little bit more almost cheeky. Bum, bum, almost in the same character as the just forte. Let's have them more cheeky rather than aggressive or hard. Like young, with fun. Let's have them in forte. Yeah. But still with humor, rather than with muscle. Last time, please. To the E, to the third phrase, I always lose it a little bit. Can you play out a little more and be even more careful? Thank you. There's a few places where I would love it more articulated, but more articulated. This place, can we just have that immediately? That's just the first valence, please. 79. With upbeat. 1. I would like to have more, but almost like an accent on there. 1. Can we have the short notes even more, even more articulated? 1. Yes, and then really doing on a really phrase off. Thank you. The same I would actually have first and second valence. 46, extremely short. Can we just have that first, second valence, 46? Can we have the same shortness as we have in the forte in the piano? Like, kind of like a compressed forte. Still sounds a little longish. It's better. Can we take the whole molto allegro just by them reading it again? Molto allegro, please.
little bit better, for my opinion,
Okay.
than the introduction. What I noted is, at the beginning, you play again until one plays, you conduct it, and then you said to the trumpet and to the winds player, yam takadam, takadam, takadam. Probably it's not clear for you, but now you are conducting. Yam tatatam, tatatam, tatatam. When you conducted before, when you ask them to this, you arrive at this tempo. Yam barabam, barabam, barabam.
Yeah.
Almost double. Then I didn't find nothing. You repeat, and then when we arrive here, for all the time that it was conducting, you use the same gesture, and you obtain the same problem, the ensemble between the bassi and the violins. They arrived too soon. Because it's the gesture. And repeated more time, it was never corrected. But you did a good job about sforzato and forte. Ti, ta, 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 ti, ta, 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 ti, ta, 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 ta. But to obtain one sforzato, really sforzato, and the difference with the forte and piano, you used 15 minutes? Then it was dirty, the performance of the player. And you noted that, and you start to work with the clarity of the passage correctly, but too late. It was absolutely the inversion to work in this. No? This, the passage that you work with the violin, isolated. It was good, but at the beginning, because I bring all the time this example. You have to build up the four wall of the house, and you start to say, now I have this flower, where do I put this flower there? Or okay, I have this paint, okay, let's put the paints, and then you see the wall is like this. And so you work to the wall when there was already the paint. You didn't talk about because you never performed with the one section of the orchestra. This is the problem. The bar 2 and bar 3 by the violin is interpreted too slow respect. So there is just in bar 3 an ensemble problem. So you have to drive the violins. And then, if you work, because this is not easy, is how they arrive at the end of this bar and to start that bar. But they were totally abandoned.
Yeah. I was trying not to conduct so much.
No. I'm just, I know I'm quite severe in that, but I want to learn. I mean, I want to learn why you decided to touch some parts and not others. I want to understand.
Because I was going after I thought that if I addressed a general character, like something like yan, ta-ta-dan, ta-ta-dan, that might help everything. That might already, maybe I thought that might make that already shorter. Ya, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, because it's the same character.
But Ruth,
yes.
You have an espressivo here. Instead, you have to use with a worker here too. I mean, this is musical indication, is fine, but there are also technical indications that the orchestra need, especially in a composition so delicate and so overexposed. So, before the first step brings the technical side at the highest level possible, what is really technical and very well played. And it's already, it will give you spirit, because the problem was that the orchestra was played better at the beginning than at the end. Some passages was much more convincing at the beginning, and for my opinion, they went a little bit back because during the repetition there was no concentration. So they felt abandoned in the most demanding passage, just to privilege the sforzato and enthusiasm and again an enthusiasm, but it should be very well played. Otherwise, I like to listen a pianist which is playing with poetry, and then doing a scale is like no. Another point, second theme. What is difficult is to turn the bow from the last note, and you are a violinist, and then you have to turn quickly. Give them the space to play. Let's do for the violin. Take time. Instead it's and there was a pastiche. But your mind was the sforzato, your mind was the forte, your attitude was since the beginning, let's play the symphony. After half an hour, let's do again. And when we work this passage, next to no? No, No, more fresh one. Come on. You disturb with this.
Yeah.
You brought the ansia. Can we do the passage? Ante. Okay. Listen. First part is very good. Then not so soft in order to obtain. One thing, last thing to add musically. All the violins has to breathe together, and also breathe together before the next forte. Tin. Okay? I don't move the muscles.
Yeah.
It's better, but you rush. You rush that. Te. Okay? And this is just a tiny example. Introduction. Yeah, 1 minute. Yeah. All the strings no vibrato. Don't exceed the forte.
Yeah, sure.
The difference which I show, and when I said about the first chord, I think everybody understands how forte to play, the no vibrato, for instance, for the strings, and just a forte of that kind. And then I worked in a way.
Yeah.
But you are really a very, very refined musician and a very good conductor. Bravo. It was very good. So, let's say.
Thank you.
You demonstrate that, and I'm very, very, very happy.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Same, eh?
Hello.
Beethoven, okay.
Good morning. The second movement, please. very first two chords, the very first chord, I would like a little bit more horn in that texture, the E, concert pitch. Now, I wonder whether we can have
Louder,
two bar.
louder.
Sorry, microphone, I don't. This bar, can we have the 2-bar phrase? So the second bar a lot softer than the first one, and a little bit longer as well compared to the staccato. Can we try from the beginning? Thank you. Can we have more of a diminuendo immediately from the very beginning? And basses and cellos, can we now do exactly that articulation but much softer? Of course, we have pianissimo later, but a little bit more sottovoce. Shapes. Apologies, I'm sorry to stop. Maybe, perhaps I'm not being very clear because I feel the shape isn't. May we try that again, and I'll try and shape it in a different way. I think I will try not to speak, I'd like to show it. Letter A, please. Yes, on the beat and not too slow. Yadada, yadada, yes. Letter A. Thank you. No, no expression at all. Nothing. No phrase this time. Thank you. That was a very wonderful crescendo. When we get to letter C, I would like to hear a lot more of the celli, violas, this staccato. Ta-ta. And then basses, you do not have staccati at letter C. Can we make this really long? So it's ya-ta-ta-ta, wah-wah-wah, ta-ta-ta, wah-wah-wah. Really, then this is where we get the fortissimo. Thank you. Right on letter C, woodwinds the tenuto, and in the timpani, well, in the trumpet, long, the crotchet. Letter C, please. Bravi. Thank you very much. Can we just have just the first violins for a few bars, upbeat into letter D? And what I'm looking for maybe is something really sottovoce, maybe the color perhaps on the fingerboard, and something very smooth.
Thank you. Also for you, Tiani. Ciao. So you start more or less 15 minutes ago. You read through the whole piece, which is quite long.
Yes.
You gave some idea, okay, fine. As I said for Ruth before, very engaged, probably too much engaged.
Okay.
Probably too much indication. Good, because you both gave exactly the indication, but probably it was too much for the music that we are playing. And my opinion that during the reading, the musicians were confused. There was just one place you were clear, and you offer a resolution in major mode, which was clear. There was very clear indication, what I understood. You start, and then the thema. Then the orchestra knows the symphony, the orchestra knows that there is an echo of that. Then the second thema, which was, for my opinion, talked with my concertmeister, which is mezzo forte.
Yes. Yes.
That was in the reading. When you dare to ask something of the orchestra in the piano, it was so shy. When you show the forte, it's clear. But when you show that the piano was not enough, then, okay, all right? Pam, 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 and you cut off the first chords. They play longer.
Yes.
You remind the second time to stay with them. So in this, it's happened. It's just that I noted that.
That was my mistake.
Just I noted that. In the reading, if I am a player, I think that at the beginning, the ta 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 ta, second and violin, viola, you were so full of singing for that.
Simple.
So probably the member said, this is the thema that she wants to present to the audience. My question is, but where is the first thema? Since the second violin starts to play, it completely disappears. The thema, it becomes an accompagnamento. And then the thema comes here, and then you sing with the violin like a lyrism, mezzo forte, and the thema was completely disappeared. And then when the thema in the fortissimo goes to the winds player, you were singing this second thema idea. And the first thema was totally death. My question is, why Beethoven starts with the first thema? And why Beethoven, like a melopée, which is developed. It's completely the opposite. The melopée is a second thema. But then we treat that as the protagonist of the second movement. But this is your musical choice. Okay, that we can talk.
Yes.
It's a musical choice. Just to go inside the score as we did yesterday, and to try to understand the score and not boom, boom. That. Central part, major mode. You sang with the violin, okay, but the winds player had no really the idea where to start the crescendo, where to start the diminuendo, because this, for my opinion, is a variation. The theme is there. And where is exactly the point that you want the crescendo, or where will you go until that? It was musical, your gesture. It was beautiful legato, as we talked yesterday. Beautiful legato, yes, legato. But they know to play legato. So then crescendo, crescendo. They want to resolve. No. This, I resolve there.
Yes.
And maybe you have in mind, and you write one bar more. So that is an indication that they understand immediately. Fuga. You sang that, but the thema still, for me, is in the double bass. Blum, 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 blum. And it was treated like a basso continuo. Fuga, pianissimo. just because was the reading, and I think you have in mind very steady.
Yes.
And you moved a lot. You moved.
I think I remembered, and then halfway.
Don't beat.
Yeah.
In the moment that I don't beat, the orchestra is too loud. And they play. And then you return to the beginning. No one note for the first chord. The clarinet played too loud for me, I think, and instead to have a clear 4/6 position of the chord, you have a A. Yes?
4 before.
No, first bar. That's balance, please.
Beginning.
Yeah. You have a no? Look. Più piano the clarinet. The horns has the E. And in this position is not A, C, E, which is the fundamental position. The bass is then the horn, E, do, do, di, which is in 4/6 position. Più piano. Thank you. Più piano, mezzo clarinet when it starts. Which is absolutely different. If I listen the A, it's right for me the position of a fundamental position. It seems a chord that instead to open, give to me the impression that it's closing. It's a final chord. Instead, in that position, something has to happen later on. In fact, it starts, boom. For this reason, I think Beethoven put this chord with the basso, the E. But despite we can hear that, the clarinet play with too much personality.
Yes.
Then, finish.
It is
There was
also-
not a problem that in the Don Giovanni has a sparkling passage, but you had less technical problem, much less technical problem. When you talk to the cello and the bass, I didn't understand exactly what you want. There's a long note and then or the articulation. You didn't offer to them the opportunity to say, but how is it? Can you play? We never conducted with them, eh? The beginning. Ding, dun, dun, dun. Okay, thank you very much. Can you play once more for me? I don't pass any information with that. Can you play? And they react. And I don't pass any information. Can we play, Julie, with your kindness? Okay. If I play for the first time and I won't just already arrive at points, I exaggerate, then let's say, for instance, that the second version is the version that I'm looking for. Play again, please. Well, the color of the first chord for all together. Ti, 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 ti. Two separated. One thing is important for them is one tenuto note. Three articulation in two bars. Tenuto, staccato mid-keilen, portato. Very important to speak. Ti, pa, pa, ti, ta. So the keilen I would like much more drier. Tenuto, and no diminuendo. No diminuendo, tension. Okay? Don't diminuendo, and I can talk also. Now, last things. Tim, tam, tam, ti, stop. Not ti, tam, tam, ti. Because it's not in the character of what I'm proposing in the first and the second bar. In this case, there is a substantial difference between the reading and the correction. Okay? Now, this was just an example. Go on from the major. No. Go. It was just an example. I like the thema there. I like that. Maybe I'm doing it a different way. Is how you approach, and then you read again. When you are conducting, and the orchestra could also hear, you can give some indication, not just play, conduct, and then stop, più staccato, meno staccato. You can talk. Tum, ta, 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 po, po, po. Staccato, please, staccato, and they play in staccato, and you save time. Major. Now you have still time, please.
Yes.
Major.
3 bars before the letter D. 3 before letter D. Oh, sorry, apologies. May I try that again? Talk,
Louder.
you mean?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, no more. Louder.
I'm just
Sorry.
afraid this microphone.
No.
but Thank you. Same place. Perhaps I was not showing it enough.
That's good.
Good.
It's good.
May I say, this tradition is that we do a subito diminuendo at 1, 2, 3, but I would like it no crescendo. We begin the diminuendo at 1, 2, 3. We have 4 bar of crescendo rather than 2 bars and then come back. So then clarinet, we have perhaps reached quite a strong mezzo forte. Then the crescendo do not come back. So only crescendo to maybe mezzo piano at bar 131. So you are giving the crescendo to the oboe. May we try this? 117. Much softer. Let the clarinet through, please. lost tempo. Thank you very much. I wondered, no, I shouldn't have stopped. It was a minor detail. I should have kept going. But
The concertmeister said that is 2 minutes at the end of the rehearsal.
yes,
And this evening we have maybe tomorrow we have the concert. And you have to rehearse also a big symphony, and so an important concerto, and again an Ouverture. When I interrupt you, you still had minutes, and you repeat from the major until here. And you played it before. And because the form of the allegretto repeated twice. Why for the third time you show them what you had to show them at the first time? And then why did you stop to correct something, to increase something, to pass some information? You repeated the fuga with more attention of that. But I mean, you see, now what do you want to say? Do you have 2 minutes? What do you want to say? The last words that you want to say for the orchestra. What? Thank you, we see tomorrow. What? You see how important it is to control the rhythms of the rehearsal. I don't want to talk about a musical problem or things like that. I want to say that differently from Ruth, because Ruth has to manage a piece which had an adagio and an allegro. Here is a little bit more complex, but it's a repeating piece. When you are working, I think, then you can, okay, let's jump 40 bars and go to another problem.
Yes.
It's not chronological. Once you show and you obtain and you're happy about this, stop. Is it right the sforzato or not?
No.
No, but you
kept going.
yes, do that. The sforzato was completely abandoned. Then the fuga. If in your mind the fuga was more important, jump, go to the fuga and say, can we start to play from F and concentrate the work of F. Once it's finished, return before and to say something. I would like to balance or to listen more. But be productive, because in 35 minutes, you read once all the movement, you gave 2 indications that didn't change the perspective of the piece, because you were able to do this indication with your gesture. You didn't balance piano forte, no, nothing. And it was clear, it's clear that you like the second tema. That was really clear. I think in 35 minutes. So, coffee time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Today's hard, eh?
Well,
Coffee time for the listeners, for the orchestra here. Coffee time for maybe them here, but not for us. On Facebook, I'll be joined by Dominic Seldis, the solo double bass of the Royal Concertgebouw Orchestra. And during this break, we'll have a chat with Nuno Coelho and with Roderick Cox, who will appear after the interval with Beethoven 7. Beethoven 7, it seems so easy, a slow movement like this, but it is tricky, isn't it?
Well, the simplest things often are, aren't they? And Beethoven hit his stride almost immediately. So the first symphony that he wrote is deeply complicated. By the time he got to 7, it was unbearably difficult to do it well, including for himself, by the way. And then by the time you get to 9, which is the one symphony that everybody aspires to write, you then realise that we're dealing with a super uber genius, a gift straight from the gods, and forevermore, if you imagine forevermore, we will be trying to play his symphonies better. Whilst humans are on the planet, that is what we will be trying to do all around the world. That's quite extraordinary to write something like
And
that.
some wonderful moments for the bass, the double bass section as well. I mean, you
Yes, just staying
have this
awake
fugue
generally is yes.
don't you? And you were treated as basso continuo, as accompaniment.
I mean, the music is extraordinary, and of course, it's down to the conductors.
Roderick.
To
Just conducted or?
No, it's okay. We made a special selection for the interval today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we online?
we are. We're live here
and
on
we
Facebook.
Wait for Nuno Coelho. Where is he?
I'll go and find Nuno.
Well,
You two
Let's
chat.
go down
Okay.
because you have maybe a shorter break now because you need to prepare. Yeah. So we have. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
And yourself?
I'm fine. I'm enjoying this. It's so fascinating to witness these masterclasses
Fascinating?
from the side. Yes.
I don't
Okay.
think-
Hang a right.
I don't know.
Me and Roderick.
Um,
Sure.
so how have you
Yeah.
been? What have you been doing after and in between all these sessions?
It's been actually, we've been working until past dinner, actually. So we've been together the whole time, really.
Dizzy in the head, or
Not dizzy in the head, just trying to process all the information that's coming. There's a lot of information, but also just trying to stay relaxed, stay reserved, and execute the plan that I've come here to do. So I think that's the.
well, there might be a backside. Hi, Nuno. Hi. That's maybe the backside of this masterclass. It's so concentrated in these couple of days. You learn too much to handle and to digest.
Are you okay there?
I wouldn't say too much because I think I feel at the level to where I'm ready to take in that information. I guess it can be too much depending on each individual situation and where you are. But I'm enthused and excited and have been enjoying it, and it's great for my own thought process and how I continue to prepare and move throughout my career.
That was what's ironic is that the one question I have here on Facebook, hello Facebook, everybody join in if you like, please ask questions. Aren't you guys very tired now?
That's how you look.
I was about to say you look like you need a bit of an energy drink or something. I have to say, Nuno, thank you very much for coming to join us. I know that you're conducting next.
You are.
Oh, you're
yeah,
next.
you are.
Oh, you see,
So the two of you are
by
next.
the time
That's
it's
the next batch.
It's
Yeah.
all changed by the time I got down.
The Beethoven boys.
You're conducting next. Okay,
Yeah.
so when you need to go, you just tell us if you need to go and prepare.
Okay.
But this is the business that we're in now. The
Yeah.
reality is that what we're doing here is the way it is going in order to popularize classical music more. People are watching at home more, on their computers more. How do you see, if you had to sell classical music to somebody who had never heard it, they've just been plonked on Earth from planet Zod, and I conduct classical music, how would you convince them to come to a concert? Why don't we start with Nuno?
Just bring them to a concert hall. I think even with all this amazing thing of Facebook and we can see concerts on YouTube and so on, I think the experience live is the ultimate experience of seeing an orchestra perform and hear this sound live and see the people playing. I think this is
The physical part of it as well. I'm sitting behind the double bass section. It
Probably
is
best. It's the best.
It's reverberating the whole. You feel it, absolutely. Yeah, I think you're so right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roderick,
Well-
how would you sell classical music? Because this is what you guys are going to have to do. It's very much part of the business.
I think the wonderful thing about classical music is that you have these almost perfect art forms. I mean, you have this sort of perfect piece of art, like the Beethoven Symphony, even though it was written, over 200 years ago, in a sense, it's constantly changing and evolving, whereas the Mona Lisa will be the Mona Lisa now, and 5 years when you see it, maybe you gain a little bit more context.
It doesn't get any more impressive, I have to say. I think it was awful. But there you are.
You have an orchestra that's constantly changing. You have different orchestras. We're different musicians and different conductors, and how we deliver this work of art live is a very special and powerful thing. And I hope that through this masterclass that people have gotten really a very detailed insight into what we as conductors do and have to go through and think about as we get on the podium. I mean, it's really the reversal of, people that get up and wave their hands. That's always one of the greatest insults, because as you've seen in the first two examples,
yes.
it's grueling, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of thinking, and not only behind the scenes, but when you're up there and fast problem solving.
And the studying involved. We cannot underestimate how much you guys study. Way more than musicians. Way, way, way more. We know that.
But there's the study, and then there's the execution. It's like if you're a great tennis player and you're practicing your serve in the finals. At the end of the day, you have to go into match point at Wimbledon finals and hit that serve to win the title. And I don't know if that analogy applies, but we have to then execute.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You do.
You know the thing from dropping by from Planet Zod, we say at Radio 4, the Dutch classical station, it doesn't matter what you play before the interval, after the break, please, Beethoven 7. And you can convert this planet to classical music.
Sure.
I mean, that's the best thing there is. Beethoven 7 is dance from A to Z, and it is intoxicating, and it is probably the greatest of all. Oh, that's dangerous. No, for today, I feel
Okay,
it.
well,
When I
it's
hear
not
the
a bad
slow
place.
movement again, it is magic. It is so magic. It is not classical music in a sense. It's the best music ever written.
It is some of the best music ever written. You're right. Yeah.
So after the interval, please, Beethoven 7, and off you go. Yeah.
We're going to do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
one more
so-
question, then
Okay.
I have to.
Okay. That's a good idea. The viewers at home have not seen what you've been doing whilst you're not on screen. So yesterday, for instance, the orchestra had a day off. You didn't. You, as I understand it, were studying hard with Maestro Gatti. Am I correct?
Yeah.
What did you then do after that? Was that you're so tired? Did you get to visit Amsterdam? Did you get to take in anything else?
No, it was Maestro Gatti, Maestro Gatti, Maestro Gatti, Maestro Gatti.
Welcome to my world, old friend.
Which is great that he's so generous with his time, but there's so much knowledge there that you're just like, I need a break, I need a coffee and some tea to.
Then
to-
we
You
will
know-
let you go. Facebook, this is Roderick. He's got to go and conduct now. You need a little time.
Thank you
Been a
very
pleasure.
much.
Well
Okay.
done. Off
Thank
you go.
you.
And one more tip for tomorrow, Maestro Van Gogh is around the corner.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So Nuno,
Yeah.
we're left with you. Here now, I have written down some quick fire questions because you're a quick-witted guy.
Okay.
You know the thing I like about you is that you've got an incredibly positive energy about you, and this is the stuff that maybe you can't pick up from home. But when you're on stage, you walk on and there's this sort of snap about you, and that I really like. I have to say, you're born with it. Okay. Either or, hotels or Airbnb.
What's the purpose of the trip?
What's the purpose of the trip?
He's
You see, that's
cool.
why I like you. Just answer the bloody question. Hotels.
Well, for a week like this, hotel.
Okay, all right. Train, plane, car, or bike?
Again, what's the purpose
Okay,
of the
Amsterdam. You're in Amsterdam.
bike?
And did you have a bike?
I had a bike, yeah. I still do.
You do?
Yeah.
Here in Amsterdam?
Yes.
Or
Okay.
you're a
It
stunt-
hasn't been stolen.
Old and rusty. Yeah.
You're a stuntman.
Okay. Long summer nights or cozy winter evenings?
Summer.
Of course, this is...
Yeah, this is easy.
And whereabouts in Portugal are you from?
Porto.
Porto?
Yeah.
I'm just about to go there.
Ah,
For 2
do-
weeks on holiday.
Does that say anything about your musical taste? I mean, are you a
No.
southern?
No.
No, okay.
Okay. All right. Text or phone call? Message? Are you a message
Phone
guy?
call. I hate texting.
Really?
Yeah, phone call.
And that's so around the world. Doesn't matter where you are. You must be in various different time zones the whole time.
I mean, it depends, but I don't like a long text
No.
conversation.
No.
I get bored
Yeah. Yeah.
of waiting.
Absolutely. Okay. Food, I think maybe, yeah, well,
Okay.
yeah, Italian, Chinese, or Mexican. So in other words, Mediterranean,
Italian.
Asia. Fine. And
Given the choice.
do you
yeah.
cook?
The honest answer, no, but I'd like to. I mean, it's been the last couple of years have been a lot of traveling and a lot of not being at the same place for a very long time. So there's not much time that you can.
How long do you think you do actually spend at home? I mean, this is a sort of, it's a very miserable life, actually, isn't it? I mean, I don't mean to be sort
He's
of.
jealous.
Yeah, no, I'm not. No, I go
He
on
wants
tour
to
enough.
conduct. He wants to
No,
conduct.
that I can conduct, but I don't want to do the touring bit.
Yeah.
Because being away from home is
Yeah.
lonely. How
It is. I mean,
in the
everybody's.
last 2 years.
Yeah, or even more. It's been, well, because I was in Amsterdam, I was studying in Zurich. I was then going for guest conducting abroad. Yeah, you just learn to live with it. And you try to be in the moment when you are, and then when you are at home or when you are with the people that you are dear to you, you try to make the most of that time. And then focus when you are here, you focus on the work and focus on what you're doing. I mean,
Yeah.
otherwise you have to make a choice of what you're going to feel, in a way.
Uh-huh. Okay. Are you a city or a country guy?
City.
Right. Okay. And your favourite city so far is?
Amsterdam.
Sorry. No, well, I wasn't asking you, Hans.
Sorry. Sorry.
Good.
Yeah,
Which is?
It's not because I'm here, but Amsterdam is really, it's very special. I like Zurich very much as well. This is where I've been the last 2 years mostly.
Where?
In Zurich, Switzerland.
Zurich.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is
And I like it there.
a cultural hotspot as well. Absolutely.
Also,
Yeah.
and last silly one: Lord of the Rings or Love Actually. So, are you a sci-fi or a romantic? That's kind
Lord
of
of the Rings.
Lord
yeah.
of the Rings. Oh,
yeah,
are you?
of course.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And
Did I disappoint?
no,
No,
well,
okay.
no, but I should think there are some viewers that are a little bit disappointed that you're not slightly more romantic. But anyway, there you are. But of course that brings me on to the next thing. Do you have do you ever go to concerts, or is it just too much?
To concerts, yeah, sure.
You do.
I do, of course.
And when you sit there, can you enjoy it, or are you constantly analysing?
That's a good question.
Thank you. The first one.
That really depends. It depends. Depends on what? Depends on the piece. Depends on the mood that I am. But I make an effort to enjoy
And
and to take what it is and not.
Can you keep your eyes off a conductor?
That's difficult.
That's difficult,
That's
huh? Hey, now we've seen this slow movement of the Beethoven with Giovanni Liu.
Yep.
What do you learn from that session that you can pick up for your own session in just a moment?
Yeah. I mean, it's very terrifying when Maestro Gatti says, "Look, you have 25 minutes with Concerto Cabal. Go." I mean, that's
There's so much time to screw it up,
Yeah.
isn't there?
I mean, and it's just like, I mean, also it was a surprise. It was not what we were expecting, and then it's like, wow, what do I do now? And it's also the topic that we were discussing yesterday in the session with Maestro. It's like, how objective can you study a score, and then how objective can you listen during the rehearsal? And this is the main, for me, the main thing I learned this week is that you if you are really secure on those two in an objective way, not on what you want or what you think that you hear or what you're trying to hear, then you're going to be really stable
Right.
and really, really to the point.
So technique
And
first, then listening, and then maybe emotions, or they don't come first.
No,
The emotional stuff comes second or third, isn't it?
The emotions are the result of the
Absolutely.
rational
That's what I hear him
process
say
that
all
you-
the time
yeah,
this week.
that
Yeah.
came after.
What movement are you conducting?
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet.
No.
So, who decides?
Maestro. So I
Yeah?
will try to find him before the session starts.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. So and how much, just so people understand, because I don't really know either. They don't tell us either. So just in case that we might sort of tell you guys, they say you've got 25 minutes, but there's no
We didn't, no.
preparing or
No,
and
no.
you need to do this.
Yeah.
And in reality, that is the best possible thing to throw you right into the lion's den, because that's what happens all the time.
Yeah.
In rehearsal, suddenly rehearsals
weekly
get
business,
cut,
yeah.
or
Yeah.
suddenly you've got 3 more hours that you weren't expecting. The flexibility is
Yes,
something.
absolutely. But of course, if I was to make my debut with Beethoven 7 with Concertgebouw, I would probably have 1,000 different plans
Yeah.
in my mind of how to do the rehearsal, so that I'm ready. But of course, right now it's like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's okay.
And if you were to do your debut with the Concertgebouw Orchestra,
Yeah.
or when, I should
Yeah.
say, when you do your
Yeah.
debut with the Concertgebouw Orchestra, if you were to be given the choice of what program to do. Speaking of... Hang on a minute. Here he is.
Oh, there he is.
No, here he is. He's go now.
Oh, he's going. Okay. Yes,
Thank you.
I'll have milk and 2 sugars. No, that's fine. Yeah, he doesn't know his way around the building yet. If you were to pick your own program,
Yeah.
what are your top 3? You've got an overture, you've got a concerto, you've got a symphony. Just whether you're ready or not, just so you know, just so we know, what are your top 3 overture, concerto, and symphony?
Oh, but that's a different question.
Not that you
because-
can conduct. Just what is your favorite?
Okay, so it's nothing to do with a debut, because that's a different question. If you're asking a piece for a
I-
debut,
yes.
it's totally.
Yes, I get it.
And no, really, because I would never do Beethoven 7 with this orchestra.
Of course.
Even then, it would be a
Of
favorite
course.
of mine.
Don't worry about the bells.
Yeah.
That's just to tell the audience to come back. Keep coming.
A symphony is hard. It would. I can only say what right now I feel like I would do. I'm doing Dvorak 7 next week,
Right.
and that for me is a great piece.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's not often played, or not
No,
as
correct.
often as it should
You're right.
be
Correct.
played.
Correct.
So, and also I have to do it next week, so it has to be the favorite piece.
Of course.
Right
Okay, so
now.
what are you conducting apart from, besides Dvorak 7?
It's a combination of factors that result in this program. It's like a carnival, Roman Carnival by Berlioz,
Oh,
and
fabulous.
Bruch
Highly
violin concerto.
virtuosic. And?
Bruch violin concerto.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wonderful.
There you
Yeah.
got a top 3.
Now, it is a vicious rumor that within the orchestral world, that if you can accompany, as in you can
Yeah.
conduct a concerto, then if you can do that, then everything else, then you know, because there are a lot of great conductors. What I'm trying to say is there are a lot of great conductors that cannot accompany.
Yeah.
It's quite the most extraordinary thing.
Yeah, like
Um,
opera.
Exactly like opera, and that's where I was going. Do you do opera? Have
Yeah.
you had many opportunities to do
I've
it?
I've done some, not as much as I'd like to, but I've done 4 or 5 different performances, and yeah, that's really the so-called technique, or the ability to really get right away what you want, especially with limited rehearsal time.
Yeah, because
that you can
concertos are
Yeah.
always rehearsed the smallest amount, and the
Yeah.
last movement of a concerto
It's-
is given the time that it takes
Yeah.
to play it.
Yeah.
Is that right?
It's just, I've never worked it out. It's been
Yeah.
the same. I've been in this business 30 years. It's always been the same.
Yeah.
Well, this world-renowned soloist flies in the day before the concert often. So it's the
You're
last
lucky
rehearsal.
if it's the day before the concert.
Okay.
It's normally on the day of the concert. Now, last question,
Yep.
because we
I
have to go
have-
back. What's your worst nightmare moment so far I mean, this is lovely, this is fun, everybody loves you, it's all beautiful, everybody on Facebook is loving everything you say. Have you got a nightmare story for us?
That happened already?
Yeah.
Well, that happens in your darkest dreams.
Yeah, what are you most scared of?
That is easy. It's
Apart from
like
falling down the stairs, of course, which
yeah,
everybody.
that's getting to rehearsal without a score.
Yeah, standing there in front. Okay.
And realize, like in 9 minutes, and realize you don't have a score, and then you also don't have it.
So
you don't have no score.
Learn them by heart, just like
Yeah,
Michael.
yeah,
That's
exactly. Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
Nuno,
Thank
thank
you
you
so much.
so,
Off you
so
go.
much.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
really
Sorry, sorry.
appreciate it.
Bye.
It was fun talking to you.
Wonderful, off you go. Well,
Well,
Hans, this has been absolutely terrific.
Thank you so much.
I have to say, it's been a wonderful thing, and I've learned an enormous amount. How about you?
it is incredible to witness, just
Yeah.
from the sidelines, what's all about. It's about
Yeah.
music, it's about communication,
Absolutely.
it's about energy, controlling energy,
Yeah,
not just wasting energy
Yeah.
and let it flow off
Yeah.
the podium.
yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And it's. I think the orchestra. You also have to remember that the orchestra are right at the end of our season. We've got two
Yeah.
more concerts to
Yeah.
go.
So,
And then we're on our summer break, which is so we go to Bulgaria. On,
you are joining, huh? You
I
yeah.
am absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go to Bulgaria and then we go to Malta.
Which is a first for the Royal Concerthall Orchestra.
It is, yeah. Actually, weirdly enough, I've been to Sofia before, but I've never been to Malta before. So it's and so we're a little bit sort of last game of the season. But actually, this has been really invigorating and really filled us full of energy just to get us through the last
But
week.
the great thing about your visit of Bulgaria and
Yeah.
Malta is it's part of your European Union
Yes,
concert project.
we're hitting every single European capital city, and then doing a side-by-side project so that we get to play with the youth players within that country. So they come and play. I think we're doing the Don Giovanni Overture, and they come and play sat next to us, literally sat next to us, which is really super. It's been
Yeah.
and there's all I don't know how many there are, but there are a lot of them. And it's been going. We've done it for the last couple of years, and we've got another year to go, I think.
And I hear that Daniele Gatti is a real master in
He's
educational projects. He
extraordinary.
loves it, huh?
He absolutely loves it. I mean, and treats them with as much respect and passion and advice as he treats us. So
Yeah.
it's really a great thing. And so that's why it's okay to get up at 7 or leave the Concertgebouw at 7:30 in the morning to go to
Yeah.
Bulgaria, because we know we've got that waiting for us.
Yeah. Dominic, Sel, it's a joy to have you.
It's a great pleasure. Thank you. Where do I send the invoice?
To Malta.
Okay.
It's tax-free. It's tax-free. Safe travels.
Cheers.
Yeah. All right. So after the break, we have Beethoven's 7th Symphony with the two young conductors, Nuno Coelho and first of all, Roderick Cox. Let's just look and see what happens in a couple of minutes here at the Concertgebouw. All right, time flies. Let's get started with Beethoven's 7th Symphony, the two gentlemen. Nuno in just a moment, and first of all, Roderick. Welcome them with their coach, Daniele Gatti. Yeah, there he is.
Sorry. Help with this stand just a little bit, thank you. We'll be starting with the first movement of Beethoven, please. That's good, thank you.
Until 12:30. The rehearsal finishes at 12:30. Okay.
Let's go back to the introduction, please. In the oboe, in the third and fourth bar, just accompaniment there. So senza espressivo and clarinet, please come through. Same thing in the fifth and sixth bar. We really want to hear horn, so oboe and clarinet is simply accompaniment there. Also strings in bar 7, 8 on the piano. If it can still have this intensity of the forte, but in piano, so in that sense. Make sure also at bar 8 that there's no crescendo there, please, on the 16th notes. Let's just do that much, please. This is from the very beginning. Yeah. The first note, still very vertical, but fast. Sha, sh, and then complete silence. Clarinet and oboe sing through the quarters. Yeah. Yeah. In bar 10, these wedges, these 16ths, short but still with still the intensity of forte, but something very much suppressed there. And make sure the 16ths on the fourth beat of 9, even though they're a little longer, still very clear, not soggy. Can we just start, please? This is bar 7. More diminuendo from the flutes, from the woodwinds in bar 9, please. 7. No crescendo. No crescendo. Now fast, molto crescendo. Thank you. At bar 15 and 16, we need to hear the intensity of the 16th going all the way to the quarter, long quarter, D. And I love the basses to lead this crescendo. So more bass, cello, put your sound into the basses. Second violins, when you get to the fourth half note of the motive, make a little crescendo so you pass it to the first violins when it comes. This is 14. At 15, really explode. 14. But hit it. Simple. Now, elegant. Come away. And just subito pianissimo on the downbeat. Not too short. Longer intensity. Okay.
You know what? To my impression, we don't need now to play this. We go to the Allegro.
Okay.
You save time. The only remarks is when you did the introduction, you conducted, you obtain immediately attention from the orchestra. And then I think in your mind, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. You can say that I'm wrong in the interpretation. When you arrive, ta 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 ta, ti 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 ti, ti ti, you pass nothing. I don't know if you were thinking, what am I doing? I'm stopped now, or I play the Allegro? No? And then we used 4 bar to have this doubt. And then, okay, I play the Allegro. Because you stop after. So the only remark is why you played few bars of the Allegro.
Well, I guess I feel like it's such a long introduction. I wanted to really just tackle that, and then once I move to the Allegro, there's much more.
But the musician think, they, as we said yesterday, they abandon the problem of the introduction. They now go inside the Allegro, and with the tension, with the musicality, they're ready to play the Allegro. Then you stop after 10%, 50% of the Allegro. You return. So rewind and return to that area. Because it's a big introduction, very long introduction, required work. If it was, for instance, the introduction of Beethoven 1, which is shorter, no?
Yeah.
Okay, you can play the Allegro, and then don't work on the introduction. You work the next day.
Okay.
Because it are two different things, but the other one is short. This is important and long. So, okay, stop, thank you very much. And instead, I was absolutely happy how you manage the time. For this reason, there is no why we have to go on. I know, you know the piece, it's your style and your musicality, but you said exactly what an orchestra needs. After 1 bar, 2 bar, you stop, you repeat, and you went to the point. This is, for my opinion, to have a method.
Yes.
And you obtain different things. So the orchestra plays really differently from the beginning to the end. So that is good. Now, vivace.
Vivace.
I see.
At 67 and 68 strings, still with, even though in piano, not too legato, this intensity.
Also, excuse me, another thing that I appreciate, while you conduct it, sometimes you talk. No?
Yes.
That pianissimo now, and you give and you remind to the orchestra, and immediately they record that and react. Of course, you cannot do in performance, but instead to stop and then to say, pianissimo, or you show, or you are great ability to show, or if you still this ability needs to grows with you as a musician too, you use the words at the right moment. You are not disturbing the players. You said other things and use it. It's not. Bravo. Go.
Vivace. Tendency at 86 to rush ever so slightly. Let's not push the action. I think the excitement comes from it being very much controlled. I won't talk about it anymore. Let's just yes, and the sforzando piano, much faster piano, please. Clarinet and bassoon. When you get to 75, diminuendo after the dotted half note. Let's just start, please. 67 with the upbeat. Yeah. at 69, clarinet and bassoon, we need to already be dancing like the flute. Bum, 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 bum. 67 again. Can I just hear just the accompaniment at 89, just the accompaniment. Make sure we still have this essence of the dance. Bum, ba-dum, bum, but even in the violin too and violas, more on the slurred notes and then come back. This is just the accompaniment at 89. Yeah. Trumpets, we need to become even softer after the dotted eighth. Sham, ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum. Once again, more from here. Yeah. Good. And horns and violin one. Make sure it, even though it's fortissimo and not too heavy, still with the sense of lightness. D, come away. B, ba-dum, ba. Very spring-like. Once again, this is 89, everyone. 89. Now please. Softer. Here. Yeah, thank you. Woodwinds at 1:30, he writes dolce there. So I think our dotted notes, that the motive can be completely different. A little longer there, please. I'd really love to hear more of the imitation in the cello and basses at 98. So crescendo through the bar to 99, please. And at 101, 102, 103, second violins, violas, I want you to lead the crescendo there. So more of the inner voices, please, through that. Let's just start at 97, please. The pianos can be much softer. 97. Yeah. First violins, really, bum bum ba bum ba beat, bum ba bum. Go to the second bar. Now fast crescendo. Violas and violins, too. Smooth. Don't rush.
Excellent. Excellent job. Excellent job. One remark is when you stop the orchestra and you want to say something. I know you are in the adrenaline, and it's happened also to me. Often, and sometimes I do apologize. But you... La fermata.
I'm on the clock.
But not them. Not them. For instance, smartwatches. Please, double bass, and cello. After the upbeat, after the fermata. Dum da dum dum da dum dum da dum dum. So I think one method, of course, if you are in full adrenaline, it's fine. But let's take from the fermata. And then you talk. The entire orchestra says, how you stop the entire orchestra? Sorry, stop. And they leave, even if they want a couple of, it's like to stop a train, which is just coming to you. And the train is not blocking. So the orchestra needs 2-3 bars to stop the energy.
Yes.
And you, when you are doing things like this, you get the attention, and then, after a while of silence, other things. Can we play? Second violin, viola, bar 89. What is bar 99? Come on, where is bar 99? And you already finished to say what they need, and then ready to start. And they have to find the bar 1989 in the series of black bar, because you know. You will go to a specific point, bar 104, for instance. A passage like that it could be for the second violin and viola quite. This one, no? It's bar 96. Why I choose this bar 96? Because it's in the middle of a series 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and following bars of 16 notes. There are a lot of bars similar. So the bar 96. They go with the eyes on bar 96, and I say what I need. There is no otherwise space for them to react at the first request. But on musical, as a method, you arrive to cover more or less with very good results, according to your musical idea, until one place. And then the second part, the little coda, it was not kept. I mean, you didn't pass any information. But you conduct it, and you obtain di do do di do do di, without stopping to say to the woodwinds player tenuto. You obtained that. And it was fine. It was a really great goal. So after that, it was like the first time, the first reading. And then you were able already to go to this part. Don't tell me that you started to develop and then you return to the exposition. But the method was excellent. Now, just to finish, I would like to see in the last 5 minutes how you manage from bar 299. No? And you know that there are the last 5 minutes of the rehearsal, and you have to finish. The orchestra know the symphony, but you have 5 minutes to finish from bar, yes, the coda. Ah, no, sorry. I beg your pardon. I'm so sorry. I didn't want to do this. From letter M. Sorry. From letter M to the end. And you have 5 minutes.
Okay. M. Couple things, ladies and gentlemen. At 4:23, a couple things, ladies and gentlemen. At 4:23 and 4:24, at 4:25, let's make sure we still use the same articulation of the exposition, not too heavy. Bum, ba bum. At 3:93, please. Second violins and first violins, smooth. Connect the line to the first violins, please. At N, first and second violins, the second beat of the second bar tends to be a little behind what's happening here in the lower strings. Make sure it's still very much in time. Let's please start at 391, please. The ostinato. Yeah, can I just hear this? Even though it's pianissimo, it needs to still have the burning desire of a forte here in the lower strings. Now, good. The articulation is better, but then can you make me what sort of desire to hear what you're playing? Longer and ti-da. Connect the eighth. Not too early on the crescendo. Hold back. Basses. More crescendo. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy your afternoon lunch.
Excellent, bravissimo, bravissimo. It's good, eh? Like
thank
this?
you very much. A bit lower. Yes, thank you. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
What do you want to do?
Fourth movement.
See, see.
Fourth movement, please. Thank you very much. Can we start at B, please? Letter B. I'd like to hear it one more time and I try to be more clear. B. Yes. In the dolce, the accompaniment, clarinets, and especially trumpets, can be softer, that we hear better the flute and the oboe. And I imagine really very static, very different from the piano we had before. And for the strings at B, I don't hear the 60 notes with a Kyle. The pa-pam, it tends to get lost in the articulation. One more time, please. Can we play it once, sempre piano, only the strings, but very articulated? Yeah, I imagine something more marcia, more pa-tam, pa-tam. And the fourth is just a provocation, but we are piano. Thank you very much. And now tutti, B, and the forte, tenuto, really a big, doesn't belong to the same music of the piano. Yes. And for us, yeah, a tasto senza vibrato. Thank you very much. That's how I imagine. B. 5 together. 6 before C, please. I try to help, but 6 before C. 6 bars before C in piano. Thank you. And these very last bars, I think 3 times the schema of sforzato on the second beat, and then 1 bar sempre fortissimo. Can we go directly there? This is 1-1-8. Yeah, I think also the fortissimo also goes for the articulation in the woodwinds. Super staccato suddenly. One more time, please. Yes, and going back to the beginning now, this same music, I think it's important that the last 8th note in the woods is very secco, a staccato but secco, that we hear a wall. We go in front of the wall and then we stop. Can we hear the very beginning? Huh. Okay. Thank you very much. Can I hear bar 5 without the first violins? It's about finding a balance that our sforzato on the second beat matches the volume of the 2 and of the movements. Without first violins, bar 5. I think quasi sforzato piano for us, but I think also it can be a bit more, more this for the woodwinds. Yeah. Great. I correct more. That we really hear the volcano going. Tutti, please, bar 5. And our first note, short, it's good. It's not an accent, but it should be. We need to hear the Kyle somehow. I try to listen better, and then sorry. Bar 5, tutti. Can I hear once the first violins? Yeah. Can we try the up bow with much faster bow speed? That boom, boom, without making an accent, but just very fast, very electricity. Yes, I think we get close to the character. And now the only thing is that we really make a very good legato on the down bow. Just a subito increase of speed. Good, tutti. Bar 5. Crescendo, yeah? Directly bar 13, the second part for the second time. Molto crescendo. But then we don't do it then. 13 first time. Bar 13 first time. 1. Great, thank you very much. When we get to letter A, celli bassi, what we just played, this is not melodic. This is with the trumpets, pop, 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 pop. So it's just a structure, non subito romantic. And for us, I think, we have suddenly an horizontal line that we can breathe. But semplice would be the word. Can I hear once more, please, A? Or 4 before A. Thank you. This is A, letter A without violins and violas. That we hear the pum, 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 a bit more just architectonic and not melodic. A without violins and violas. And in the sound of the trumpets rather than daimonis. Pom, beep, pop, beep, pop. Yes. So I would suggest something very, very dry, very non-espressivo, and not too loud that we hear the staccato and our legato. Good. Tutti, A, please. Yes, please. Yes. There is some relaxation in dynamic as well. Of course, we have important to keep the fortissimo until the piano, but there is a bit of just landscape rather than all the time. Yes, A, please, tutti. This piano, so this is the first moment that we are without floor. So I think it's important that right away, violas, seconds and violas, that we hit a very contrasting piano, that we hear sempre forte, sempre this gallop until the end, and then a quick stop. I think the first 8 parts of A, we really found this balance in the cello. The last second phrase, we are again a bit too generous. Let's keep it very cool and only they sing. This is bar 40, 44. And this diminuendo, the way I interpret it is that we are in piano, we have 4 bars diminuendo to pianissimo, and B is suddenly, is subito più. That's how I see. Can I hear the strings once? This is the galop bar, 452? It tends to rush, and the important thing is that also in the tutti, the first bar is not quite together. Let's put in context. Tutti, let's go to the transition. So this is bar 44. we worked on this, so I would like to jump to the second part. Yeah, second of 118.
Very good, you too. Bravissimo.
Thank you.
Come on. Bravo, because I was, you read enough at the beginning, and then you went directly to one of the most critical points, subito. Ta-ta-ti, ta-ta-ti, ta-ta-ta. You try a method to have the articulation and to play a piano. You said interesting thing that the forte, it's arrived like a really surprising, it has to be like this. Excellent. Then you work at the beginning. Tam, taka, tam. I didn't understand why you repeat 4 times, but it was a very funny moment. And the orchestra was with you. I mean, it was, your attitude was very positive. And then you work just with this section, tam, pa, to search the right sforzato. Very good method. Very good method. So they now know how to play that. Then about this, probably it was a little bit pedantic because don't forget they have a staccato. You want a secco staccato, a short staccato dot accent. So it's hard, when you play in the forte to do a short note and then add this word but not accent, because otherwise, if there is no accent, and actually with accent. Forte, staccato, in very quick tempo, it's an accent. So you said a contradictory thing. And then they have to play the sforzato, and to have it, of course there is a little bit of articulation. And thanks God. So, and you said about the legato. Others contradictions for that. Then you said and the concertmaster said semplice in the way. In this way, but you didn't note one thing. They change bowing every 2 bars. Instead to do the original bowings. That means that instead of semplice, they have appassionato. Of course. So the reason is how you have in mind the sound of the passage to say forte ma semplice. And maybe at this speed, which is a little bit. But they have to arrange to have this simplicity. Then, other things, it was excellent the method that you used. The orchestra wasn't tired, they was with you. You indicate, la, 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 and immediately all the woodwinds played, they came to you. So, because they understood, and trust me, when an orchestra understands, let them offer their way to play. Because what is important is to convince people that what we are doing is excellent, fantastic. And instead of a little bit louder, a little bit, no, they already did it. Accept the gift that they're giving, because they understand your vision with their personality. And this is the best things about the relationship between you and them. Okay? It was very good the way you work. I didn't understand. It was already there. Then you stopped.
Yes, the first part always felt not together. And it always took a while to get the character. So
okay. There was a moment that I said, I want to see what is going on. Here, when you return to tip papa at letter B, unfortunately, you didn't repeat enough. Because you start to work here. When it was fixed, you return to the beginning, and more or less 13 minutes passed from the work you did. And then when we return, a lot of work was in the between. So, and you stop, you didn't remind, you remind that 15 minutes ago we worked on that. You have to remind.
Okay.
Otherwise, all the work that you did is lost. The risk is forgot. It's fine. Third movement. It's very good, the method and also your musical idea. Congratulations. Scherzo.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I find that the main difference right where we are now is that we have the sforzato on the first beat, so we have to extra crisp and extra intention there. Beginning, please. Sorry, I did, yeah. The forte, but then the piano subito, sempre staccato. That's very, very difficult. Can you please have bar 3 directly? The first note, staccato. Yeah, it's okay, it's okay. Yeah. Can we have a more più staccato? Just this giocoso that it brings to the last roll. Good. And now from the beginning. Yeah. Perhaps the bar 2, the third beat needs to be secco. That then we hear it disappears in the whole. The upbeat shorter, papreda, and then we have more space to hear the grace note as well. Second part. Yeah. So in the violins I hear very well. I think we have to extra short the upbeat. Yeah. And that was my fault. I just do it one more time. Yeah. Thank you. What I like now is that we have the tempo and we have this, please, in the pianissimo, but the sound that we had before was more beautiful, was more transparent. So if we can have both. Yeah? Più tasto. Yeah. So I think the pianissimo is about also to find less articulation in the para, but still because of the gap, we hear this sort of without breath. Piano staccato giocoso, pianissimo without but with separation with the slurs.
You mean legato and then again. What do you mean?
In the pianissimo, before I heard sorry?
More gap or less gap?
It's not about the gap, it's before that was it was articulated. Para, and this I didn't want. I had più legato, but with a gap. It doesn't make, how do you say? let's play once, and then I say what I mean. This is bar 29.
Shall I stop?
No.
No,
Yeah.
it's fine. You work very well. But this is a typical example that the conductor lose the head.
Yeah.
The most important thing that the audience want to listen is atmosphere. You are, first of all, the second very important thing is that there is no equal articulation between the winds and the
Yeah.
violins.
Yeah. But that's what I was going for.
You repeat 4 times, 6 times, 10 times, and then più piano, and then the second bassoon, the legato and the gap. At the first time, at the very first time, they play fantastic.
Yeah. Yep.
The big problem was they was too long in the articulation. They play legato, but para, 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 para. The problem that the violins didn't imitate. Then you repeat, again like this, and the violin was similar. Dira, dira, dira. Third times, now I want a little bit more gap. Ta, 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 tira, tira, tira. And they play like this with call the first note. Because the gap is created by call the first note and the second is quasi niente. Similar for the third time. Dira, dira, dira. Ma then, be practical in music. Tatrara, tatrara, tatatata. 4 bars, tira, 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 or tira, tira, or tira, tira. For the audience, it doesn't change the life, eh? It changed for us because we are looking for some. We are looking at the cast of the Graal. This one is no. Let's play. There are 2, 3 maximum. First time. Ta 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 tira. Oh. Once more again, please. What I listen is the notes of the harmony, the clarinet, are a little bit too loud to respect the flute. And so if that is a mistake. Because it's better to have ta 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 tira tira, the top line of the flutes, a little bit more emerging than the clarinet. It's clear that? Once more again. 1, 2, and flute. This, okay. And for me, it would be fine. What do you want to change? Maybe a little bit more transparent. Maybe subitissimo, pianissimo. This is a difference. Before you talk about
The milligram. Yeah.
Oh, 1 comma 0
Yep.
neutron. Also for that, you said there was no change. One more thing, very good. Trattara, tatara, obtain the piano. But the method is good, eh? It's what you said. The beginning with the orchestra.
Da capo, please.
Okay? It was not so far at the first reading. When you said the piano is different than the piano, and you try from the piano, some player didn't know to start from the upbeat of the beat. But the secret is not to rehearse the piano.
It's the transition to.
No, is to rehearse the first 2 bars and say, please, we play until the last note of the second bar. Please don't play, stop, touch it. No one that is play tatiara, tatiara, tata. No, I want to listen. Tatiara, tatiara, ta. Try. Again. see that the last note, the last crochet, has an attitude to be played in diminuendo. Obtain the forte until the last note. Stop. And now we play the piano because it comes naturally. Why in the performance that we hear is because the player has already the head in the piano and they are not finished the music in the third one. Now exactly this effect, and then what's happening in the piano we'll see. Come on. Big difference.
Yeah.
Resolve the problem.
Yes.
So instead to work on the piano, we worked how to arrive to the piano. And we worked on the psychological side, not on the technical side. Because the player now know with you that they are engaged until the last note of the bar. And when you repeat 3 or 4 times, you don't fix just musically, you fix the mind of the player. And they are committed until that note. And it will be fixed for all the time, like that. That was very good. Okay. Should I have the trio? Assai meno presto.
Shall I rehearse? Shall I say something?
Sure.
Yes. I'd like to have the beginning of the Assai meno presto. My idea is that it's a very related to the main tempo, so it's a bit faster. It's a bit. I've tried to not slow down too much. Yeah, well.
You conduct like that, no?
Yeah.
Quasi un valzer. I'm not judging. I'm a little black irony. Sorry, I apologize for this. But you completely lost the most important things of this trio, from my opinion, which is the dynamic.
Yeah, that's what's going to.
Yeah,
but I felt the
why
resistance.
you didn't show? Can we do at your tempo? I don't think, not because it's me or because my player, more than this they cannot do. More they cannot do because there is no time. So I think that at the part of the rehearsal, it's quite, you got a risk, a big risk. Maybe you arrived, but try to think. Otherwise, there is no diminuendo. No, it seems piano forte, piano subito, piano forte, piano subito. Let's try, or if you obtain what you want at this tempo. And how many minutes you must use? Alt, excuse me. Why they have to play a long note and get tired in the you are concentrating?
Ah, okay, I thought we were going to play it through. Okay, it's just
No, we are talking about this, not to repeat.
Okay. Yes, I would imagine that this part 3 and 4, also, yeah, senza crescendo. One more time. Yeah, likewise here as well. Sempre piano. Tutti, please.
And the flute is abandoned when the flute is an ottava. That is the problem. That now you have the two hairpins, one above the other, one after the other, crossing the other.
Yes.
So and I think you have to test it because maybe it's just a mezzo piano.
Okay. We know where it is, second phrase.
Okay. And now just one critic musical side.
Yes.
I'm listening. It doesn't communicate to me something special. After a while, the risk of this is that repeat, it becomes boring.
Yep.
Because nothing happens. If we go down, really lift down the metronome, let's try please. An extreme color, like a field harmonica. Wah, wah. Like that. This effect, when you play the diminuendo, disappear. When you play the crescendo, a lot of hair. Oh. Yeah. Listen now. More. You can also increase because you have the space. So in this case, for my opinion, the music is made, the tempo is made by the dynamic and not by the music online. It's the dynamic that which gives exactly the metronome. And in fact, also the cadenza has a meaning. Before, there is no meaning. But this is just a musical thing.
Yeah.
Can the conductor come here, please? So, now let's take two ladies in the middle. Oh, how many are? Oh, so, okay. Thank you very, very much. 1, 2, 10. Roger. Thank you. Grazie. So. Thank you. Ah, you have already. No, the strings, wings player. Grazie. I really I really want to say thank you very, very much. First of all, to you four. Grazie. It was splendid to have all those days with you, the time that we had together in the afternoon. After the lesson in the afternoon, we went to the pub to see the match and have a fantastic beer and burger. No? So we spent from 10 o'clock in the morning until 11 o'clock in the evening together. So for me, it was a great human being experience. I learned a lot. And I'm egoist, and I want to say that I learned a lot for myself, for my profession, for my future, to pass time with you. And of course, with my splendid musician, which I think they need a super applause. I think it was hard. It was tough, and today probably tougher than other day, because you were alone here to manage, and not the papa is coming and is here and he takes the experience. So the responsibility, no? So everything was in your hand. What I appreciate is that the work we did together in the 3 days, in a way, blossomed. And the method which I insisted, how to treat an orchestra during the rehearsal, what we can looking for, it depends just how deep we prepare a score. And then also it's important to listen. And then it's important not to overconduct, okay? Of course, when you have in front an orchestra of the top quality, you want then to do a little bit more. But the progression in the rehearsal, and now, of course, it are just example that, but the progression of rehearsal after rehearsal, it should be done like to climb up a mountain. The first day we are looking for this. The second rehearsal we can add something. The third rehearsal we have to. And even if you want to say everything the first day, sometimes it's happened to me that they can do it, but I leave something to say the second day. Let the orchestra get mature, and then the second day you can add something else. But we are talking this afternoon. I don't want to to keep you here. Thank you very, very much. Grazie, pubblico. Thank you.
Maestro Gatti. These days were ranging from highly entertaining to deeply moving. Thank you for your insights. It was sheer joy to just witness these masterclasses. Maestro Gatti, thank you so much. Wel thuis.